Other than that, how you been?
Oh, I'm doing very, very, very happy to be here now.
Nice, bro. Nice, man. And for anyone who doesn't know, we met at the park. We met at
Yes.
a party, and then yeah,
At the Monbijou Park, was it that park?
Monbiju Park. Yeah,
Yes, exactly, in the center.
yeah.
It was a event of your friend Patrick, or our common
Patrick,
friend.
Pascal.
Pascal, yeah, sorry, man.
Yeah.
I fucked up his name.
No, it's cool.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Pascal.
No, Pascal only watches his episodes, so don't worry about it. He won't mind at all. But how's Berlin treating you?
Oh, yeah, very well. I mean, the summer has been nice. I enjoyed very much. A lot of work to do. Since you know, I work for my own startup, so I'm working also a lot.
Mhm.
But I feel like I'm here now for 10 months and I feel like I finally kind of arrived.
Nice.
So I have like really 2 or 3 really good friends now and we are a nice team and I'm enjoying right now my life, like working hard, but also spending good moments and memories with some nice friends I was able to make.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Cool, bro. Hold on 1 minute. I just gotta close the window.
Yeah, sure, man.
Boom. Sorry. There
How-
you go. Boom.
That's
So-
nice, yeah.
Yeah,
We
but
made
that's dope,
better.
man. So you 10 months you've been here, because it seems like the way your energy and everything, you moving about, that you've been here for a while, it seems like. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I'm a pretty extroverted person, so relatively easy, I guess, to integrate somewhere very fast.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely extroverted. I will say, because I'm like, yo, you definitely, because you're
But
from,
not as extroverted as you, I guess.
I mean, just as much. Like, so where you from originally?
Originally, I'm from North Germany, next to Netherlands. Region is called Friesland.
Mm,
I haven't been there for a long time, but yeah, I'm born and raised there. Like, so I'm a countryside German, you could say.
okay.
North countryside German. So actually, now I'm living in Berlin. But before I lived in Berlin, now I'm 27.
Mm-hmm.
I never have been to Berlin because for me, Amsterdam is like 3 hours, but Berlin is like 6 hours. So when I was a child, we have been more often to the Netherlands,
Right.
France actually, and so on, but not so much to Berlin. Somehow there was never a reason to go to Berlin somehow.
Wow, that's
Yeah, crazy,
okay.
no?
That is interesting, bro.
Yeah.
Because I would imagine that, I assume everyone in Germany at some point in their life come to Berlin, at one point, but
Yeah, maybe. I
Amsterdam's
mean,
right there.
you're from the US. Have you ever been to the capital of US? I don't know. Maybe you have.
Capital, Washington D.C. I guess
Yeah.
as they consider. Yeah, I've been there. Yeah, actually, I've been there. Washington D.C. Oh,
Okay.
yeah, Washington D.C. is actually a fun time.
Okay, I thought maybe you
Uh,
haven't been neither, so
yeah.
we could connect the dots.
Yeah, but I mean, nothing against you. I mean, you got Amsterdam right there. Why not? Right? You
Yeah.
got the coffee shops or whatever, as they say.
Coffee shops, yeah, very
Yeah.
nice.
But I mean, yeah, you are extroverted, right? And I know there's always a stereotype. Well, maybe I've heard about, like, when it comes to German culture, it can be reserved. But
Mhm.
I mean, for like, literally, as soon as I talk to you, I'm like, oh, bro, you remind me of a friend that I know back home.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
nice, man, bro. I appreciate
Yeah.
it.
No problem. I mean, look, by
Nice
talking
words.
to you, you're shattering all the stereotypes they have about the
Oh.
German cultures. So that's good.
But yeah, I think there are many stereotypes, and I guess some of them are right. But we also here in Berlin, I think many people who are in Berlin are not really stereotype at all. I mean, you're also from the US. I think you're not stereotype US guy, right?
Yeah, true.
I mean, kind of. If you look at stereotype, it's hard to pin it down right now these days. It's like more old, but I think these days all these cultures mix, especially here in Berlin, right? I mean, it's kind of like hard to pin down now stereotype to one culture. I feel because all these cultures mix. Still, there are some differences, but I think they just mingled a bit more.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense, and you're right about that. So you're northern part of Germany.
Mm-hmm.
So I know different parts of Germany are different. Like, I mean, obviously the South Bavaria or that region area is different than like the central, the east, the west.
Mm-hmm.
So what's like the North Germany?
North Germany is very like people don't talk as much. Maybe I think they are more like there's a joke about that people from the north, if they greet each other, they don't say hello. They just like nod to each other. Like
Right.
that's kind of it. That's a friendly gesture you can get. And I like or like this. Like it's like very like less talking. I think a bit more like calm because also north is not so heavily settled. There's many villages, but not
Mm.
really big city. Especially in northwest. Hamburg is kind of a really big city, but it's still 2 hours. Bremen is also not so far, and then you have Groningen in the Netherlands, but there's like I feel like more a vacuum. So if you are like from maybe south, like Bavaria, I think there's more the density of settlements is bigger. So I
Mm.
think this how the environment of where you live also affects how you are is like a bit of the culture. And since it's so low density, I think there, I think people are also a bit more calm and less talkative.
Okay, that's actually a good point that you bring it up like that, because yeah, it makes sense that if you're more spread out, that you're gonna be more towards yourself, and whoever you don't know, you're gonna be like, okay, I don't want to talk
Yeah,
too much, you know?
don't talk so much. Yeah, I think talking less there actually, people.
Yeah. Which, hey, it makes sense because it's like, hey, I don't know you. Let me at least warm up to you,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Or just like there's also it's pretty calm area, but I haven't been there for a long time. I mean, so when I was 18, I left, and I haven't been there again. I think for 4 years now. So
Oh wow.
yeah.
Okay, so when you left, what was the first place you moved to that like was your escape, I guess, from?
I was 18. I started to study my bachelor studies, and I wanted to move far away, but not too far away that I can still see my parents. So I moved like 4 hours away.
Oh,
I
not bad.
studied my university, started the mechanical engineering and technical university of Braunschweig. It's like kind of, it's not too far actually from Berlin, 1.5 hours from here by ICE.
Mm,
It's like a smaller German city, which is good for mechanical engineering studies.
nice.
And so that was kind of like the first adventure, you know. And I remember very well the first day I moved out, and I my mother kind of like helped me a bit with bringing up the flat, constructing stuff, and then it was the day that she left, and I was back then 18, right? And then it was like she left with the car, drove back to the north,
Mhm.
and I was there in the flat, and it was kind of dark. It was October, a rainy day, and actually I cried also in that moment because it's like it was like a
Yeah.
life changing moment, I must say. I kind of like one chapter ends, another chapter starts. Like you are
Mm,
adult now, you live alone. You're
right.
here, your parents are not around. So back then, I
Mm.
remember I cried actually.
Ah, bro. I mean, you're not the first person who said that. I think I talked to some people on this podcast who said the same thing.
Oh
Like they
really?
cried when they, got to school. I think for me, when that happened, where was
What happened to you, man? Yeah, it's I'm curious.
actually, okay, so when I first got to college, I was living at the time in Delaware. Delaware, for anyone
Oh,
who doesn't know,
Delaware.
Delaware is a terrible, it's one of the most boring states you can ever find in the United States. If you ever go to the United States of America, if you have to go to Delaware, just go through it. Don't stay. Go through it. That is no place for anyone to live except you want to get a cheap house. Anyways, I was living there and I was just happy to escape, to be honest. Yeah, I was just happy to
Mm,
be like, "Oh my, I'm out of Delaware," because I was living there for a little bit.
mhm,
And at the time, because the houses were cheaper, so I was like, my parents like bought a house there and stuff. But then
mhm.
after, I was like, I have to get out of
I
here. I
had to
have
get
to.
out. But Delaware is very famous. I mean, all these Delaware Sea Corps, right?
Yeah,
Like,
well, that's the only reason. Yeah, no one wants to be there except for C corps, corporations, which nobody is there. It's like, hey, we'll open a corporation here, but it's only be staffed by one person, and then that's it. We don't want to have our employees leave because they have to live here.
it's like a rapper, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's like boom, just here's the business, no taxes. That's the only reason why people are there. No taxes.
is that so? Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I mean, not well, no state tax, I think, or
Mm,
something like that, and then obviously cheaper for the S corps and everything to
mhm,
do it.
mhm.
But that was my experience with college, and when I went there, it was interesting. Let's just say it was not too far away from home, and unfortunately, that was not a good thing.
Oh, you wanted to go further away. Okay, yeah.
Let's just say there's some. So where I grew up, it was like a rough neighborhood. So let's just say they had the same people in that college. So
Mhm.
it's almost like the neighborhood from far away from the neighborhood, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it was like migration, like kind of here to there.
Right.
But it's kind of like everybody who's here also is here.
Yeah, like I think the first day of college when I went there, there's people shooting dice in the corner. I was like, all right. I was like, well, I don't think I'll be learning anything much here. And thankfully, I transferred to a different college
Okay,
after.
I understand. Nice, cool story,
Yeah.
man.
So, I mean, how about you? Your college was calm. Was it like,
It was like a mix of calm since it's a technical university, not so many girls, you know.
oh, so you was really studying.
I was really studying. Yeah,
Mm.
actually, yes. I studied even like 2 degrees at the same time, like two bachelor degrees, mechanical engineering and industrial engineering.
Wow.
I think I'm pretty good in torturing myself, and I found like one study's too not challenging enough. So I
Uh-huh.
thought, why don't study two at the same time? I
Mm.
wouldn't recommend to anybody, but I did it back then. And then actually I tried to explore a lot the world. I moved to the US. I lived in Oklahoma, right?
You what?
Oklahoma, United States. I did an exchange, pretty random. I think
Wow.
lived also in Paris for some time. Did an exchange there.
Mhm.
Amsterdam, Madrid. Did my masters in Copenhagen. Lived for some time in San Mateo, San Francisco also.
Mhm.
And then I moved to Switzerland, Zurich. Lived there for 2 years, and now I'm in Berlin. You know. So I've been actually living in quite a few places. I think.
Wow.
That's why maybe sometimes when I talk to other German people and I speak German to them, sometimes they ask me like, what is your accent? Are you like German or not German? I say, nah, I'm like born in Germany. I'm German nationality. Here's my passport. Look. But yeah, I didn't live like in Germany for like maybe 7 or 8 years or something like this, and because of that, I think maybe my accent has changed a bit. I don't know about my accent in English. I think it's still very German, like not crazy German, but like still German. But in German, sometimes apparently German people ask me if I'm like Dutch or Swiss also, or
Mm,
Danish or something else, because maybe I pronounce some words a bit weird.
yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty
Wow.
like this. I think when you hear somebody talking in native language, there's like these small, very small things sometimes people hear, and they are directly like creating something like a very small fraction. Let's
Mm,
say I just pronounce one single word of like 100 words I talk in a phrase different, and I may pronounce the A like longer. For example, sometimes people ask me, how is your name? And they say, my name is Jan.
yeah.
Jan. I say Jan. I say the A more open,
Yeah.
Jan. Other people may say Jan. You understand? It's very small difference. Jan,
And people
Jan.
pick up on that.
People pick up on that and like, oh, where are you from, man? Because you call yourself Jan, not Jan. And I'm like,
What?
is it written with an H? And I'm like, no, it's just Jan. Like my name is Jan. Like, but people are a bit confused about it, you know?
Wow, that is so specific.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, so when you say Jan, what part of Germany or where does that come from? Like,
It comes because my grandmother always called me like that, and so
mm,
I like to be called like Jan.
yeah,
I don't like the short version. I don't like Jan. I like
yeah.
Jan. I like when the A is open.
Yeah, you like to hear your name. You wanted
Yeah.
to stay out a little bit, Jan. Don't let it stop. Just let it keep on going. Let's
Keep on going. Give it.
let's keep on going. Why are we stopping?
J-A-A-A-A-A.
Yeah,
No,
Jan.
just
Whoa,
kidding.
whoa, whoa! You forgot the H in there. Jan. You got a Jan.
No, but I don't have the H. I don't have
I
the
know, I know.
H.
It's like yeah, the H is invisible. Just say it out, Jan.
But yeah, people pick up on that, and then they're directly like asking, "Oh, where are you from?" And I say, "I'm no from nowhere specific."
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, man. So, I mean, to kind of go back though, that you traveled different places,
Hmm.
and one that's surprising me is that you went to Oklahoma,
Yeah, that's pretty
which
random.
that is, what made you want to move to Oklahoma?
It was a exchange university I had from my bachelor university, and for me, it was also free to study there because studying in Germany is
Oh.
free and in US not. But I could study there for free also because we have a partner agreement.
Mm.
And there was like different options. I think it was Utah, Wyoming, New York, Waterloo in the Canada, Oklahoma, and I
Mm.
think like Nebraska or something like this, Ohio.
Oh, Nebraska.
And
Okay.
so I thought, let's go for the most American experience, the most US experience. So let's go for the Wild West. I thought like Texas would be cool or Oklahoma, something like this.
All right.
So I went to Oklahoma.
And how was Oklahoma?
Bro, the first time I arrived, I remember very well. I mean, pretty random. I was back then 20 years old, so I was underage in the US.
Mm.
And I flew to Dallas because it was cheaper. And then I took a Greyhound bus from Dallas to Oklahoma. And I was like, in Europe, you are taking like buses. It's kind of a normal thing, right?
Right.
But I didn't know yet the US. First time in the US, you know? So I was taking this Greyhound bus from Dallas to Oklahoma City. And I was surprised I was like, wow, seems to be not so much a thing here. And people who took the Greyhound bus were a bit sketchy, maybe some of them.
Bro, you took the Greyhound at your first. Wow, that is bold.
And then the bus dropped me off. I looked at Google Maps. I was like, I think I need to get off here, dropped me off. And there was not really a station. It just dropped me off somewhere random. And I was like, seems to be no bus stop here. And no sidewalk for people who go by feet,
Right.
And just big cars, huge pickups. And I was walking just on the highway with Google Maps. Like, I think I need to go that way, It was my first experience in the US, but I made it in the end,
Oh yeah, I mean, you still here, right? Yeah. You here. You didn't get hit by an SUV or whatever, so you all good.
Exactly.
Wow,
Man.
you took the Greyhound, bro. I don't even. Greyhound is always sketchy. It's never
Always
not
sketchy.
sketchy.
It's never not sketchy, yeah.
Yeah, Greyhounds. Unfortunately, the buses here in Europe, it's like all right, little sketchy, but
Really
like
sketchy?
it's the reasonable amount of sketchy because you're paying $2.50 to go to a whole different civilization, right?
Yeah,
So you're like, okay, they got to be a little sketchy here. How could it? But
yeah.
like in the States, you pay more money for a
Mhm.
Greyhound, and it's almost like you're paying more money to be in a box that you can possibly lose your life. Because you're just like, all right, who is this person? There's a big duffel bag. I don't know what's going on. They keep on looking at me. They got their hands wrapped around it. There's somebody else looking like they're sad traveling. I don't know what's happening. Like somebody running away from something. What's
Yeah.
happening?
I saw the
Yeah,
same. Also, they didn't turn on the light. I remember that it was just like dark in the bus.
as they
There was a
wanted to.
really
Yeah,
weird, weird setup.
this is it's so sketchy. Like no lights, no lights.
No
This is
lights. Let's
no
not see
lights.
each other.
Our customers do not want to be seen. Just
Discrepancy.
just turn off the lights. That's what they asked for. This is what they're paying for.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny actually. Yeah,
Wow. Oh, Greyhound to Oklahoma. And
to Oklahoma. Yeah,
yeah, because I don't know how it is for the rest of Germany, but I would assume Germany in itself is more the public transportation is a lot better. Like you can
more
access
dense.
different
Yeah,
places than say Oklahoma, which is no like
there's nothing.
transportation.
Yeah, not so much around, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's football. There's oil. There's Greyhound buses. People are generally very nice though, like very heartful.
Okay.
I felt like nice people actually. Barbecue, football. I mean, I mentioned already. I think.
Ah, barbecue and football. Okay. Nice. Yeah, so the barbecue must have been good then.
Yeah, the barbecue was good. I mean, the Sooners. Maybe you know them.
The Sooners. Oh, the Sooners, yeah, yeah.
This is quite a big club, and they had 80,000 people, I think, in the stadium. So the stadium is huge. It's massive for a college stadium because I
Yeah.
thought the university has 80,000 people stadium. In Europe, that's kind of like Allianz Arena of Munich, which is like a big
Wow.
soccer or football
Yeah.
club. But
Wow.
so
Okay.
it's just the college team, which has like such a big stadium, was a shock for me.
That must have been because our college football is like serious. Like
Like
this
serious
people,
stuff,
yeah.
yeah.
Very serious.
Mhm.
It's like whole economies. Like this whole town's meant for just the college. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was like a city called Norman, which is next to Oklahoma City, and it was the university, I think, and that's basically it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a great experience because you lived on the campus, many cool people, you live with students, all your neighbors are just students. It's like 100-person student city, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought it was actually
Wow.
super cool, actually.
Damn, bro. So okay, so those are the culture shocks you saw, like the college football, how serious it
Mhm,
is.
mhm,
Obviously, the big trucks and everything,
mhm,
huge. People got big wheels for no reason,
mhm,
right? They got
mhm,
nothing to pickup truck.
mhm.
What were some other like cultural differences that you experienced when you was in Oklahoma?
Oh yeah, man! I was taking Uber car, and I was saying to the guy like, we were all international students. One person was from Spain, she was from Spain. I was from Germany. I think another guy was from Poland. And then I asked the Uber driver, just where do you think I'm from? And he looked at me and I was like, oh, I don't know, man. Maybe Turkey. I mean, no, I'm not like want to sound like racist or so, but I was like, wouldn't be my first guess, I mean, could be, right? I mean, I have also, I guess, blonde, blue eyes guys, but I would rather guess like Europe North or something,
You know what's funny for Uber driver Oklahoma? That's actually surprising
It's
for
a
him
good
to
one.
go that far to be
Oh.
like, oh, Turkey, because that's not a lot of people guesses
Oh, okay.
when it comes to like European or like far away from United States type of geography. That I'm surprised he said that.
Okay, I
Yeah.
was also surprised.
Right. I mean, I mean, and not to be, also as well, but I mean, blue, blonde hair, blue eyes. There's a lot of other countries that have that.
More likely Netherlands or something, I thought, if you make a first guess.
Yeah.
Turkey, not so much. And then the second guess actually was, I think, Iraq, though. That was pretty off, I thought. And then I told him, no, it's Germany. And he said to me, oh, I have also done this DNA test. I'm also partly German. And I was like, bro, I mean, you have done this test and you're partly German, maybe of the past ancestors, but you cannot make a guess.
Yeah, he was far off.
Far off.
Yeah, that's great. Hold on, but he said Iraq and Turkey.
Turkey
I get
and
no
Turkey.
issues with those places. It's just very far. Like,
Very wrong.
yeah.
So I was really shocked how bad he knew geography in that moment.
Wow.
Because I think you can ask almost any person in Germany, they wouldn't make such a bad guess.
Yeah. I wonder if
Also, Uber drivers would make an okay guess. I'm pretty sure about that,
maybe he looked at you and he's like, "Ooh, Germany, but that's too easy." he was
wanted
like, let's go far. Let's see. This
No, but he also said, then the other girl said she's from Spain, and I think he said, oh, that's nice, you're from South America. And I was like, oh, bro, such a classic. I saw just a
Right.
classic stereotype which came true. I saw it with my own eyes, I heard it with my own eyes. I was like, people make that joke that some people think that Spain is in South America, but it's not,
Oh man, it's just like, ooh, you were so close, man. You mentioned these far places away from America, Turkey, Iraq, and then somebody says Spain. You're like, oh, South America, like Mexico, right? It's like, it's like, damn, I thought you was well traveled.
yeah, it was like,
Yeah.
I think he never left the US actually.
I mean, clearly. I mean,
Yeah.
if you heard Spain and then thought,
South America. Yeah. So actually, that was also a culture shock for me how off it was.
hmm.
That was interesting.
Yeah, 'cause Oklahoma, unfortunately, is one of those places where it's so in the middle of America
Hmm.
that like the stereotypes tend to come out a lot more, let me say, 'cause it's so isolated.
Hmm.
Like any like even when it comes to like Spanish speaking people, it's usually from the South. So like they don't
Hmm.
even like you got like obviously Caribbean, like Dominican, Puerto Rico, all this stuff. Like there's people that I know that's from the central part of the United States that anyone who speaks Spanish is like Mexican or South American or Central American.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like, well, this, Spain, that's unfortunately where the source of Spanish comes from, unfortunately.
Yeah. That's right.
Also, you have other Caribbean islands, but yeah.
Yeah. I saw just funny experience.
Yeah.
I have another experience I would like to share, and I think
Yes,
it's a pretty
please.
cool one.
Yeah.
I was traveling once to Utah, and I was like camping there in this BLM land,
Mm,
land of the United States people. I think like
yeah.
there's no law or something, right? Or
Interesting.
no
Okay.
state land,
No.
BLM land. Have you heard of it?
BML no.
BLM, I think it's called BLM.
BLM. I don't even know how it stands for Black Lives Matter, but like the B yeah, 'cause I'm like BLM land. I'm like, what is
Good one.
but hold on, what does it stand for
I don't
in
know
this case?
exactly what it stands for, but I know that it's kind of land where the state doesn't operate on. It's kind of like I don't know. I think federal law is still active on this, or the law of the United States is still active, but not the law of the states or something like this.
Wow.
Don't take me like this for granted, but it's some specific land, and you can camp there for free, and you can like drive around with your motorbike there and stuff. But it's not
Okay.
maintained, so it's very like hilly.
Right.
So me and my friend, we went to Utah to hike Zion National Park, and we went to this BLM land. And I said, "Wow, this is like pretty cool." So we thought like to put our tent somewhere. We drove with the car, and it was like crazy hilly.
Yeah.
And so at a certain point, we were like, "Man, this is too much. Let's just put our tent here." And we were looking, and there was one guy. He was maybe like his tent was 50, 100 meters away. I
Mhm.
think 50 meters maybe. So in feet, that would be around 150 feet.
Mhm.
And we were putting our tent, and we were like trying to sleep very early because next day we wanted to go to do the subway hike in Zion National
Oh.
Park, which is cool, really
Wow.
cool. You hike through a tunnel.
Wow.
And I tried to sleep. We went to sleep very early, and my friend took like a CBD pill to fall asleep faster. I didn't,
Mhm.
and then at midnight I woke up because it was so loud, the music, and so I woke up and I was like, Then I took some earplugs, I put them into my ear. I was like, okay, let's try to sleep. But the music
Wow.
was so loud I couldn't sleep. And next day we had to wake up at like 4 or 5 a.m. because we wanted to do this subway hike.
Wow.
You want to do it before the sun rises because then it's still cold and not too hot and stuff.
Mhm.
And so I thought, okay, I cannot sleep. Let's maybe go over to the guy on the other tent and ask him if he can reduce a bit the music. So I go out of the tent, I open the tent, I look outside. He has a very big pickup car. Pickup car also still running. I was like, man, this is so stupid. You're in your tent. Why do you have your car running? And I go over to the tent, very loud music. I say, excuse me, sir. Can you maybe turn off the music or turn it down a bit? And then no sound, just like loud music continues. Nobody answers. I hear like 2 dogs barking. And then I say, okay, maybe try it again. Hey yo, I'm just like have to wake up very early. Maybe you can like turn down a bit the music because I
Mhm.
tried to sleep. And then music is decreased a bit. I just hear voice of him. Man, do you want that I fucking shoot you or what? I said, whoa, bro, no stress. I'm talking to this tent wall, right? I don't know who is behind the tent. I just talked to this tent right now. Tent is talking with me. I said, no stress, relax, all good. I just wanted to ask very kindly, would it be possible? Don't
Yeah.
want that you turn it completely off. Man, I go fucking now out of my tent. I'm going to shoot you. I said, no, bro, no stress. Relax, my friend. We are all good here. I didn't mean no harm.
Oh shit.
And then he opened the tent, and he's like, "Where are you fucking from?" And I said, "Oh, I'm from Europe. I'm just here to hike the Zion National Park." Man, this is BLM land. This is the US land. This is like not your land. And then my friend woke up, and he's American. He's called Connor, and he said he was on CBD, and because of that, he was tripping a bit, and he thought he was dreaming this. And then he realized, oh, the voices he hears right now is like not a dream. It's kind of the reality right now. Me being in this conversation with this dude,
Right.
and he steps out of the tent like hectic. Hey, bro, all good. Relax. We are all calm down here, and we are going to move. We are going to move somewhere else. You can
Right.
play your music. And he had also these 2 German Shepherd dogs, And so I walk back like, yo, bro, no worries. Like walk slowly back to the tent. we pack our stuff and we drive away somewhere else. And I thought, bro, this was so crazy because I've heard stories that in the US people can shoot fast and then maybe it's self-defense.
Mhm.
And I saw like crazy story actually that I was like so involved in this story. It was like a funny, crazy, dangerous story in that moment. But
Yeah.
afterwards, I think it's quite a funny story now. I can laugh about it.
Well, yeah, I mean, clearly, because you're live, so please, like, you gotta always laugh about it. You're like, oh, it could have gone completely wrong. But hold on. So a couple things come out of that's actually very interesting,
Yeah.
and I think some cultural differences are gonna come out of it. So first is that you're in this. Okay, it's hard.
BLM, I think it's
Yeah,
called.
because me saying BLM means something very different. So I'm just like, is this okay?
I think you can look it up. I think it's called BLM land.
Okay, BML land. Okay, a free land.
Free land.
A land. Okay, so BLM land or something, right?
Mhm.
So this land you're on, right?
Mhm.
And I think what's different for me is that the confidence you had. This is at nighttime.
Yeah, nighttime, midnight, yeah.
Ooh,
12.
so okay, so maybe this is me as an American. This is why I'm like looking at this like, whoa. So first is that here's a couple things come at me, right? First is that you guys put earplugs on and you're outside, right?
Yeah, this I saw this already ridiculous.
Already like, whoa, okay. Are there bears in this place or any like type of wild
No,
animals?
I didn't put them on first. I just the music was very loud and I
Uh-huh.
had them in my pocket. I was like, okay, let's put them. But
Okay.
still, it didn't work,
Oh wow, is that
That's
loud?
why I walked over to the guy.
And how? Okay, you said 100, yeah, 50 meters, so 150 feet roughly or so like that.
Yeah.
So that's like close.
Yeah, it's not so far, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Close in the US means something different than in Europe, I think.
Yeah. I think what we're realizing here is that I don't know how close either of those measurements are. I gotta like really think about it. But yeah.
It's like kind of on the other side of the street.
Okay, so that's close.
We
That's
should-
close enough. Yeah.
It's not like close. It's not like I'm sleeping here and you're sleeping there, right?
Right.
When
Yeah,
you
true,
say-
true.
It's like quite like maybe a block away or something like this.
Okay, okay, so a block away. Okay, so that's loud. That's very loud.
Yeah, it's very loud.
But then to go to the tent and be like, yeah, because when I think about tents, nighttime, I think about scary movies. I think about like kidnapping. I'm thinking about those people that lurk on like I'm so paranoid driven. Maybe I don't know, that's an American thing. No, it is a cultural thing. Like being out in the wilderness, I'm just like nervous. I'm just like, yo,
Oh.
suppose I get lost. Suppose somebody wants to do
Mhm.
something. So for you to have the confidence to go to the tent, I'm like, whoa, what?
I think in Europe it's very normal. Let's say we have a house party here in your flat and we would like be loud. Then the neighbor may come up at 1 a.m. and say, hey guys, look, I see you have a nice time, enjoy the party. I would just like to sleep. Maybe you can decrease a bit the volume. Then you would talk to the guy at the door and you would say, yeah, okay, we decrease a bit the bass or something like this
Mhm.
so you can sleep. We still have a good time.
Yeah.
So I thought like maybe that's exactly the same thing for me.
Nah, that dude did exactly what I thought was gonna happen, which is like, hey, I got a gun.
Yeah.
Like, get away.
Get away. Like, bro, I was like, no conversation at all.
Yeah. It's like, whoa, hey, let's just, pleasantries. Hello, my name is Jan. Your name is? And he's like, no, my name is, I got a gun. It's like, oh shit, all right. Well, nice to meet y'all. I'll leave you to it.
Exactly, man.
That shit crazy.
Yeah, it's a
Damn.
crazy story. Actually.
Wow.
Maybe one of the weirdest stories of my life, I think.
Bro, I mean, did that change the way you started like walking around now? 'Cause-
No, I'm still the same. Sometimes I think like only because one thing happened shouldn't change your whole perspective on how you see the world.
True.
Sometimes I think, for example, there are laws made that maybe you're not allowed to swim in the river because one person died of swimming in the river. But why do we have to make a law for everyone only because one guy was stupid or one person,
Mm,
So like, why do we have to like only because one person was stupid doesn't mean the rest of the world is stupid.
yeah.
So I didn't change my view actually. It was just a funny encounter.
Wow.
But maybe next time I would camp in the wild in the US, I wouldn't maybe do this. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that, or I don't know, find a place where there's no tents or something.
Yeah, maybe.
know?
Yeah, maybe a bit further away.
Yeah.
Respect their space. Huh?
Yeah, respect. Respect this space. Because I thought at least a guy named Connor will help you out or something. It's like, hey, my name is Connor. He'd be like, oh, all right, Connor. I have a cousin named Connor. All right, I ain't gonna shoot you.
No,
But, like-
it didn't help so much.
Yeah.
The guy was also, I think, maybe a bit drunk or something.
Oh, damn. That
Yeah.
is wild. I mean, hey, maybe the accent saved you because maybe that paused him a little bit. He's kind of like, all
Maybe.
right, well, Europeans don't have guns, right? Probably thought that. He's like, oh, so I don't have to shoot you now.
I know you should, maybe later.
Yeah, later. He's like, but I don't gotta do it now. Oh, so you was lucky. Good thing for you, your accent.
Yeah, good thing the
Ah,
accent.
there you
The
go.
accent saved me,
Good
right?
thing for you and your half Iraqi, half Turkish accent. Oh my God! Wow,
Pretty good joke, actually.
it saved you. You lived here. You here now.
Yeah.
But wow, okay. And you was hiking a lot out there
Yeah,
then.
we're hiking a lot. Like, US is great for hiking, right?
Mm.
I like it.
Is that something you did before going there, or that just like you just was, hey, I'm in the United States, why not do it?
No, I already did it all my life. And US, you have also many great places. Yosemite National Park, Joshua Tree Park,
Yeah.
Zion National Park, Big Sur. You have.
Mm.
Um, so there's many cool places you can also do nice hikes in, right?
Yeah, this is
Uh,
true.
yeah. So
Wow.
I like it.
Man, you okay? You was living life there in Oklahoma.
I
Okay.
live the life there.
Yeah, and then like Oklahoma, then you say you lived in a couple different. I mean, so many different cities in Europe.
Mhm.
From so you and then Barcelona, you said right?
Madrid,
Madrid, sorry, Madrid,
Paris,
Paris.
Amsterdam,
Wow.
Copenhagen,
So
Zurich.
out of all those places, I mean, you live in Berlin now, but out of all those places, aside from Oklahoma, what has been like the most like I guess interesting place you lived in, or you had interesting experiences?
Um, I think actually Berlin.
Mm.
I think Berlin is an interesting place. Like I met, for example, you. I think in Berlin you can meet many interesting people. It's like so diverse and so also random a bit, right? Everybody has a
Mhm.
bit of a random story. I don't know 100% your story right now, but I'm pretty sure you have also an interesting story. And anybody you meet here came kind of to Berlin at a certain point because they have something random in their backstory. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like maybe somebody who was born in South Africa, then raised in Singapore, and actually moved to Berlin. Because Berlin is kind of like a place where international and kind of anybody can come here. And sometimes when they feel like they are not part of any kind of thing, they are part of something in Berlin because and maybe that's why I'm also here. You see, I have lived in so many places. I have sometimes a hard time to identify myself, like who I belong to,
Mm.
and I feel like maybe that's also one of the reasons why I'm in Berlin. It's just an assumption I make right now. I've never thought about it like deeply, but
No, I think you bring up a good point though. And I
yeah.
think even with like I mean kind of sort of like the theme of this show or this podcast is like third culture like being a third culture kid is like about you're from one culture but you're living in different cultures. So now you're coming up with your own new culture, your third culture.
Mm-hmm.
So like I would imagine you living in these I mean Madrid is different,
Which is really different.
Switzerland's different. I mean completely
Mhm.
different from the two, right?
Yeah, very different. Yeah,
Using Oklahoma, right?
Oklahoma, very different. Yeah,
So you're creating a different culture, probably to the point that if you used to go back home, people looking at you like, "Who are you?"
yeah. I
Yeah,
couldn't go back to the north of Germany. I think
yeah. I
I'm too
mean,
far off now.
I ain't too far off. You're like, I don't even know I don't even know what to
I
say
don't
to
know
you
how to
guys.
talk anymore.
Yeah, you're like, I don't even know. I mean, shit. Even I would even imagine even Switzerland a bit. I know you just moved from there,
Mhm.
but still, like Switzerland seemed. I mean, what part of Switzerland actually?
Zurich
Zurich.
or
Okay.
Zurich, as they say from there.
Zurich.
Zurich.
Okay.
This is how the locals say it.
Yeah.
Zurich.
Zurich.
They don't do the sh in the end.
Oh, Zurich.
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 Yeah.
Wow. Damn. That's like Swiss German.
Yeah, Swiss German is a bit like ist gut gsi, ist gut gewesen.
Oh, my, oh, bro. That sounds. I mean, do people struggle in Germany to understand Swiss German?
Oh, that's a great question. Very first time I moved to Switzerland, I was like, oh man, I swear I can understand this. But it's like, I always translated it to this. You know, when you're in the shower and you have this kind of glass which is a bit like milky.
Mm-hmm.
So you can look through it and you can see there's another person on the other side, but you cannot really recognize it. And this is how I saw the Swiss dialect is like, I can see what they kind of say, but I cannot see it sharp. So, or if I don't wear my glasses, kind of like this. I can walk around and I can see, but I don't see sharp.
Wow.
So it's like subconsciously all the time slightly um, bothering me. But
Hmm.
after some time, you get it. Like once you know that, for example, "gsi" means gewesen, which is like a word they use many times. First time you hear "gsi", you are like, this is so far off from gewesen, like which is you would never get it. But once you know it, it's kind of like okay. There's like a few words they many times are used.
Mm-hmm.
Then once you know that they are used and how the kind of one-to-one translation is, then you're okay because other kind of filler words are similar enough, but other words are very different. So you know
Okay.
what I mean? You need to
Yeah.
know these kind of keywords, which are very different.
Wow. Would you? That's interesting. So if you go back to Switzerland now, you can like would you? So one thing to understand, but was you able to speak?
I wouldn't able to speak, and I don't even know if Swiss people would like me to speak.
They were like, okay, just stop. We
I
understand
think,
high German. Just do it.
yeah, I think Swiss people, like, there are some Germans who try to speak Swiss German, but Swiss German people will always hear that they are not OG Swiss German people, even though
Mm.
you may try to speak their dialect, you know? And then they say it sounds a bit weird. So, yo, bro, just stay to your high German. And, like, however you talk German, I get you because they can understand everyone.
Hmm.
But we will answer to you in Swiss German, and you just answer to me in high German. So it's basically like this, you know?
That's so interesting. So they speak to you in Swiss German, but they want you to respond back in high German.
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly.
Wow. I don't
This
know why, but that sounds very pretentious.
I
Like
don't
very
know.
not pretentious, but it sounds very like, hey, we speak to you Swiss German and you speak to us, in high German. We,
That's how it normally is. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, interesting. I mean, but they don't want to speak high German back to you though.
They can, but I think they don't enjoy it so much.
Yeah. I mean, you are in Switzerland, right? You're in their country,
Yeah,
so
you're
they're
in the
kind of like,
culture, and I mean, if you really say I don't get a single word when you say Swiss German, they are like, okay, I can speak High German to you. But if you say no, I can get Swiss German. If I go there now and I would say no, I can get it, then they will talk to me in Swiss German, you know, because I think for them it's like slightly more effort, like a very little bit effort to speak in High German because it's like they are so used to speaking Swiss German
mhm.
dialect to each other, then for them to switch to a High German accent or whatever is like hard. It's like
Mm.
slightly work for them. You know what I mean?
Ah, I see.
In
Okay,
their
that
brain, they have to like slightly think more. I think.
right.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So, okay, so what made you move to Zurich? Zurich.
I lived in San Francisco. I worked there in a startup, and then was COVID. And in COVID, many people were let go. Biotech, it was the startup, and biotech went like I think 75% down during COVID.
Wow.
So it was pretty hard hit, and I was not fired, but I mean, it was kind of sad. Like, probably you don't have a future here. Like, no growth. Company is paralyzed. Company also nowadays bankrupt, I think. So, took like 2 3 years more until it finally went off. But they struggled for some time. But it was a great place. I loved it, and I can only say good things about my time there. And then I was like with my ex girlfriend. We were like looking into the internet, like top 10 cities to live into the world. And there was Switzerland, and she's Spanish, and I'm German. We were like, maybe let's do that. Sounds okay. It's like in between Spain and Germany. It seems to be okay.
Wow.
Let's try it. And we moved to Zurich, and we got a job there and lived there for some time.
Wow. So that's how you moved there by going on the website and say, hey, what are the top 10? That's so interesting.
Yeah, I think it was like some of them were difficult to go to because I think one was like, was it Melbourne or something? And I was like, I don't have visa for that. You know what I mean?
Melbourne, yeah,
It has
Melbourne,
to be a
Australia.
European city. And there was Copenhagen also. I think Copenhagen was in there. But I was studied my master's already in Copenhagen, and there was like we liked Copenhagen, but Copenhagen was very dark in the winter.
Yeah. Mm.
I mean, here in Berlin, right? Winters can be dark, but it's even more north, even 1 hour less sun in the winter. You know what I mean? Sun 1 hour
Ooh.
earlier down is pretty hard hitting you.
Yeah.
And I'm originally from North Germany, but she's from Spain. Oh, yeah, we're not anymore together, but I mean, so it was like it was a difficult. So we wanted to go a bit more south Europe
Mm.
or Central Europe, and
Yeah.
so
Shoot.
Switzerland was just perfect fit.
Nice, bro.
Yeah,
Nice. Switzerland. Okay. And then you was living in, you said San Francisco.
San Francisco before, yeah.
No. Okay.
Basically San Mateo, if you know,
San Mateo. No, I
it's
don't
like
know.
south of San Francisco.
Okay. Because San Fran, very good food out there.
You are very nice, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, you've been traveling around, so you
I
had
think
better. Yeah.
Berlin also very cool. Like so many international random spots here.
Yeah, Berlin definitely has good food. I mean, it's food from all over. I
Mm.
guess the only thing that Berlin doesn't have that maybe San Francisco has or California is good Mexican food.
Mexican, yeah, burritos and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, that is something different out there. Like
Yeah, yeah.
best tacos, best burritos, all in California.
Yeah, yeah.
Even
That's
in
right.
California, very good donuts. I would never realize. I went to some weird shop. I was like, let me get some donuts. Got some donuts. Best donuts I had in my life.
Wow, that sounds nice,
Yeah,
man.
I don't know.
What was your favorite donut you ever ate?
No, you know what? I ate an old fashioned donut. They call it old fashioned because there's nothing on there. There's just literally just a donut with
Oh.
nothing inside, just the bread and the sugar inside. So I got that. That tasted better than any donut I had in my life. I was so surprised. I
Mm.
went in some weird shop, not a weird shop. It's like corner stores or delis that they call them or
Mhm.
something. Went inside a convenience store. Went inside, got this donut. It was like it's just on the shelf, or not shelf, but it's on the little thing. It is
Mhm.
no, woo, here's the best donut. It was just like, you want a donut? Okay, that'll be $1. All right, cool. Thank you. Get out of here. I ate it. I'm like, whoa, whoa, I need to go back inside. This donut tastes good. So
Mm.
good, that donut. I'm still thinking about it. Yeah,
Oh,
I was in
wow.
LA when that happened.
Wow, that sounds like sometimes I think maybe the baseline of a product is the simple product. For example, if you compare pizza to one to the other, maybe you should compare margarita to the other, you know?
Mm,
It's like the baseline pizza.
yeah.
Pizzeria has a good margarita pizza, all the other pizzas might be good as well.
Yeah, that's true.
The old fashioned donut.
The old fashioned donut. It's
Is
the plain pizza of donuts, I guess, or margarita of
plain pizza of donuts.
yeah, margarita donut.
Maybe a new thing. Let's open a shop.
Yeah, there you go. Hey man, yeah, let's do it. You got some good ideas. You got
Margarita donut.
yeah, you speak German. I don't. We can make this happen here. You could do all the legalese work and stuff, and then boom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe I can try.
there you go. And then speaking of companies and stuff, you
Mhm.
actually are a CEO and co-founder of a very nice company I
Yeah,
hear. It's
yeah,
called Needle. You
yeah,
could tell us
exactly.
about that.
Oh yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, so I work for Needle.app. So we are like allowing individuals to find the needle in the haystack by combining all the different data sources to one data source, so they can have a unified search, whether this is Google Drive, Gmail, Notion, Slack, Jira, Confluence, all these kind of tools, because often information is scattered across different platforms. And then you may want to do some kind of mini automations based on your own data. Let's say, for example, I used my own tool recently. I try to work together with YouTubers who are doing like content around AI tools or like
Mm.
automations, for example, workflow automations. And I have created a list of like 100 YouTubers in a Google Sheet. And then I have created a mini automation with Needle, which is like web search this person, create like a email, which is kind of targeted about him that I want to work together with him. And then send this email to this person and do this for each row in my Google Sheet. So it iterates over each row of my Google Sheet and sends this message in the end. So instead of me like sending 100 emails,
Right.
I just create this one time this workflow. It iterates over each of these rows, researches this person, creates a personalized email, and sends it, which I can do maybe in half an hour, 1 hour, right? Instead of like this cost me maybe like otherwise 2 days of work. If I would look at this person, I would look at his YouTube channel, I would watch his latest YouTube video. I would create some content around it. I would say, "Oh, I really saw this video about you. Very interesting. This and this topic." So instead of doing this, I just automate this outreach, which gives me more leverage, because then I can have more people I already reached out to, and maybe then negotiate with about like a potential collaboration.
Wow, bro. That's actually very impressive. Like to just have that automation happen to reach out to all those people.
Yeah.
Cause like, I mean, yeah, so much work and you know, and then also just the opening closing of the messages and keep
Hmm.
on sending it. Like,
Hmm.
I mean, you can use also like, MailChimp and things, but like the way it takes all different pieces and put it together, I think is the beautiful thing.
Yeah, I think this is actually the future, as they say. Like in terms of coding, the new language, I think the founder of Nvidia said it right, Jensen, is not anymore just like that you can code, but plain English. If you can describe in English whatever you want to do, you may have like some AI tool that can execute it for you.
Mm.
So I think this is also something very interesting, because in the beginning you may thought, oh, AI and so on comes and it will like take away jobs which are maybe in like, I don't know, cleaning a house or cleaning the windows, like something robotic stuff. But
Yeah.
in the end, it takes away a bit like these jobs which are software engineering, because they are so good in creating code. Like
Hmm.
still software engineers are needed, but I found it even a bit surprising that like lawyers, software engineers, these kind of high-end techs heavy
Yeah.
jobs are most under pressure due to AI.
Yeah, just extreme pressure.
Not so much the classic jobs as craftsmanship or something like this.
But nobody wants to do that, unfortunately.
I
Not
think
nobody, but I'm saying like,
it has a new uplifting trend, I think, these days. Kind of like, I think there's a bit of a trend of moving away from digital and moving again towards like doing something with your hands out there in the nature.
mm.
I think some people got a bit like overwhelmed. And I ask myself, if one day we come to this point where people are like, this is so much technology, fuck all of this now. I'm moving back to how we lived 1,000 years ago, growing my own plants in my
Right.
garden, building my own house with my own wood,
Mhm.
and that's it. I don't know if at a certain point we will reach to that point, because people will be so overstimulated with all this new technology and stuff that they are just like, it's enough. I don't want no more. Could be.
Yeah. No, I mean that's true. You're right. And I think with the AI, to your point a few steps back about this threats, about not threat, but let's just say the fear of AI and the fear of the threat of jobs and things, that it I think in addition that it frees people to think about other ways of using their time, or like
Mhm,
of being useful relative to what they're doing,
mhm,
whether it be like work on their own business, whether it
mhm.
be like adding more to the community, things like that. But I guess with your app or so, which does lean on it does use AI, I guess,
Yeah, yeah,
or
we
so,
do.
right?
We leverage a lot. Yeah, we build
Leverage.
our own internal IP. Plus, we leverage a lot of other kind of tools and stitch them together in a way.
Nice. Okay. So let's use an example, right?
Hmm.
If we could do this, right? Because use a good example about if you want to reach out to YouTubers, maybe if you want to do, I don't know, transcription, or you want to do thumbnails or something, you can like find all the YouTubers and stuff like that. Suppose let's make it for someone who's like in social media, right? They want to reach out to brands or something like that.
Hmm.
Like, would your app be able to do that? Like, like find like, I don't know, the top brands in, I don't know, Bremen or something like that, or Hamburg, and then say, hey, can you I don't know, get their email or something like that, or reach out to them.
Yeah, I mean, it would be able to do so because if you have, for example, let's say you have already a description inside your company, like maybe you have a document which describes, I want to work with this kind of brands. You
Mhm.
describe like some parameters because the AI in the end is a bit like a human being the better you describe the problem to it, the better it's able to execute it.
Mm.
So if you describe your problem very well, I'm this kind of, here's my content. Look, my content looks like this. I'm this kind of YouTuber. I like to work with this kind of brands. And here is maybe like a list of 1,000 documents describing each of this brand. Please tell me which are the most likely brands I'm going to work with.
Mm.
Then it will iterate over each of this document and will understand and kind of create a score. Maybe you create a scoring based on your kind of like measurements. Maybe
Mm.
your scoring would be you decide the score. Maybe score is like brand is in sector eco-friendly, or brand is in technology sector, or brand is working already with this and this YouTubers. If works already with this YouTuber, plus 10. Something like this. And then it would iterate over each of this kind of brand, create a score in the end. In the end, you would get like a scoring list of 1,000 rows ranked, like ordered by top score to lowest score, and would tell you these are the scores of these brands. For example, when I hired, right, recently I hired a founding associate intern, and we
Nice.
got like 400 applications. I don't want to read through 400 PDFs of CVs. It's a boring task.
Yeah.
So instead of that, I built this workflow with a Needle, read through each of the CV. Here's my ranking. For example, I put like has already experience with AI tools, has already done content creation, video as well as written, is based in Berlin. And then each of this gives 0 to 10 points. The A looks at the CV, decides on how many points it gives, and then in the end creates me like a table which is like ranked like these are the top candidates. And I only looked at the top 15 then. I kind of ditched the others. I trusted in the AI to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And then I only had to review 15 CVs instead of 400,
Wow.
and then we decided from there to move on,
Mm.
so you see it helped me a lot to save a lot of time and make a better decision. And yeah, that's kind of like I think that's also something very interesting. I think so. Similar use case would be with the brands.
Hmm. So you bring up an interesting point I never really heard anyone talk about in terms of like the ranking of the results that are given to you
Hmm.
once they go through this information and
Hmm.
stuff. Is that something that Needle does? Like, I mean, how did you get to that point of like the ranking, like that thought process? Because I don't know that's
That's you
very.
describing it's basically as again as you say to a human. It's basically as if you are having a right hand, you have a right hand person,
Mhm.
and you tell to this right hand person, please look at all this 400 CVs. For me, very important that this person knows how to speak in podcasts. I don't know, for example. Uh, and then it will go to each of the CVs, and if the person mentions in their CV somewhere, I have already talked in podcast and 2 years of experience, it will give a score of 10. If it never mentions anything, maybe it will give a score of 0. If
Mhm.
it maybe worked in some brand or like affiliate marketing position, maybe it gives a score of like 6. It
Mm.
depends on. It will look at the CV and make like an assumption based on what it data that it can see, for example. But
Mm.
you'd say yourself, for me, this is important. For example, the I tell to the AI, for me, important, as I said, based in Berlin, experience already with AI tools, driven, for example. And
Mhm.
yeah, this is kind of like you describe. And then it's kind of like a human which acts in your behalf.
Yeah, because I think you bring up the reason why like ranking and some of these things like lit up for me is that there's like I mean there's many I mean there's everyone now has an AI helper thing
Yeah.
which kind of wraps around ChatGPT
Wraps
whatever.
around
So
ChatGPT, yes.
that but I think what's interesting or what differentiates these products from each other, I feel like is like the way it guides the type of like conversation that you can have or the type of prompting you
Mhm,
can give to some of these applications, like even the whole ranking thing or what are the questions you should be asking
mhm,
in terms of the capability of this tool
mhm,
in order for you to get the results that you're looking for.
mhm.
And does Needle have something like that to where it kind of guides people that may be new or unsure about how to go about it to like ask the right questions to get those results?
You're making a great point. A very good point you're making. It's something we have thought also many times about. The thing is, like, there are so many tools, and the attention of people these days is so limited
Mhm.
that to get the user fast, very fast to this, aha, wow, this is cool moment. Like, I enjoy it, I understand it, I can use it, it is helping me, is very, very crucial. And because of that, it's like you have to make it very easy for the user. Because, like, for example, I gave you the use case of the TV, I gave you the use case of the YouTubers. But you also first have to come up with this thought of, oh, I could build such an automation.
Mhm.
So this is like a bit of like cognitive process, like a bit of work for yourself in your brain to think about it, even until then you create it, right?
Mhm.
Because of that, yes, guiding the user in the beginning of the app is very important. And how we measure kind of if the user is onboarded or not is if they execute the very first time a workflow within Needle. And if
Mm.
they do so, then we consider them kind of green onboarded. And we have, like, for example, they do an onboarding, they say, I use this and this tools. Let's say they say I use Gmail and Slack. And then we will recommend them some workflows that they have. For example, read every day through my emails. I want to track kind of the emails from this sender and give me a quick summary every evening about, for example, my emails which I received about this topic, for example, and send it as a message to Slack because there I can consume it better, right?
Mhm.
Instead of me clicking manually through my emails, I get in the end a quick summary of my emails, for example, in my Slack message. But you first have to think about that, and this is a very common use case. Maybe many other people would like to build a workflow like this, and so you have to dog feed them a bit, right? As we call
Yeah.
it, dog feed.
Yeah.
And I think any of these AI tools these days, user adoption and user experience is crazy important because attention span is so short. I see sometimes users sign up for our application and maybe drop out, delete their account after 2 minutes again, and then I know I did a horrible job in for example user bringing the user a good feeling, making
Mhm.
them maybe they didn't understand how the product is used.
Wow.
They were having a bad experience, or maybe one error appeared directly there.
Yeah, they get fearful like, shit, I broke it. I don't know what I did. And then just
You can see it a bit like a waterfall, right? They are here, then they are here, and if you build the best product here and everything works perfectly here, but they never come to this point because they already drop out here, then this is an issue. So you have to make every step amazingly well and don't over optimize for a later stage step, but optimize very much for an early step of the where the user is kind of in.
damn, it's like each conditional has to be over optimized in a way that doesn't allow the user to drop off.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's almost like not it's like each thing has to have its own like important, like, okay,
Yeah.
this needs to be very clear. Like,
It's a bit like
wow.
an escape room. Every you have to solve every riddle to escape the room.
Yeah.
But if you fuck up one room, then
Then
yeah,
that's it. They're kind of like, all right,
you don't even make it to the next riddle. You know what I mean?
yeah, they just press the button and have an associate walk them out. They're like, all right, get me out of here. I don't know. I want to escape for real. I want to get a refund. Get me out of here.
Exactly.
He's like, that's not really the way we should escape. No, I want to escape this way. I want to leave. I want to press the button, get me out of
Press
here.
the button, get me out of
Yeah.
here.
Like, no, just try the door. No, I don't want to touch a door. That's but no, I like that you said that though, because the whole guidance of like using a tool like that is so important. And
Mhm,
even it sounds like you have uh good how would you say? I mean, obviously good UX UI, but it seems also you guys are getting like the user stories and stuff like, down pat in terms of like how does a user progress through the
mhm,
app and where they would drop off and tracking that in a way
mhm.
to make the experience good for the user.
Yeah, I think it's actually something maybe something I undervalued a bit in the beginning. because I
Mm.
come from technical background. So sometimes you think as a technical person, wow, this is very clear, and it's like, but the user doesn't get it because
Yeah.
user is maybe like not from technical background, but you
Mhm.
are always biased based on your own view how you see things.
Mhm.
It's very much you have to be very empathetic with the other side to be able to put yourself into the foot or into the perspective of the other person to understand, oh, this person sees it like this. Maybe the language is different. Maybe how they expect things are looking like is different. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So you really have to understand that. And something maybe I fucked up in the beginning a bit. I was not so strong in, but you learn with time, and
Yeah.
nothing is perfect.
Right.
You make every day you can improve.
Yeah, and that's the most important thing about those things relying on data, right? Is that you, I mean, it needs, I mean, what in typical, um, maybe technical form, there's like a schema or something that this
Mm-hmm.
data should be organized in a certain way, and if it's
Mm-hmm.
organized that way, it's easy to receive. But
Mm-hmm.
in this world where things can be whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and you're trying to make decisions based on that data, I think that UX UI aspect is important to at least guide them to ask the right questions or ask the right things. So then, in itself, helps the application to give the data back in a way that keeps it going in a cycle. I would imagine.
Yeah, you're right. That's very good, like data-driven decision making. And I think one thing I want to add here is I think designers are very, very much more valuable than before because the bottleneck is not anymore so much in can we build this feature.
Mm,
The bottleneck is more in like how do we design this feature to be most likely adapted by many users.
mm,
Before the bottleneck was maybe before the bottleneck was like how do we construct it, how do we build it. This is still somewhat a bottleneck, but the entry barrier is much slower now to software engineering. But building something unique, which is not like super generic, just generated by an LLM, and something human-like, this comes to a very important point. So designers, I think, are actually much more important these days.
mm. That's very important.
Yeah.
And would you say with your with Needle.app, is it more B2C or B2B, like business to customer or business to business?
It's like some strategy we are following similar to Notion. Do you know
Oh yeah, yeah.
Notion?
Notion. I use that. Oh,
Uh,
yeah, Notion is
it's like
yeah.
it's like B2C. You may use it on a personal project, but when you start working for a company, you're also like, I think this project, this tool makes sense here in this team to work together with this tool in the team. So
Mm.
we are going this, I call it B2C to B approach.
Ah, okay.
You convince somebody on an individual level, maybe this person also works for a company, and then it decides, let's maybe bring this tool also to the company.
Mm.
It's like a kind of like bottom up approach is called. Top down
Oh.
would be you talk to the high level people and they push it into the company. They
Mhm.
say, for example, I don't know, your boss says we are using now this tool, and then you have to use it. The other
Right.
approach is more like user from bottom is like maybe you're like software engineer company, you like to use a tool. You go to your boss, hey man, can we buy maybe the pro subscription? I think it really saves me a lot of time and helps me to be more productive in my daily work. We are trying to go more that approach.
Nice. That's a very nice. That's a good approach.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
depends. Any approach is good. Other
Right.
people go more top down approach. We just think like founder fit for us as founders is best to go from bottom up. It seems to be our strengths, and you have to play your strengths, right? If I play, for example, Messi as a goalkeeper, he will not play so well. But if
Right.
I play Messi as an offender, he will
Yeah.
play very well. So you
Right.
also must know your strengths and play them accordingly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just a few more questions, right? So it's you and your co-founder, and when it comes to like a startup, they always say it's usually difficult to find a co-founder, one that you meet and you guys have the same hustle flow, as they say, and like working habits and things. So how was it? How did you find like how did you guys meet? Let me say,
Uh,
you and your co-founder.
yeah, look, I mean, my story is a bit crazy, I think, because my ex girlfriend broke up with me and I was like living in Switzerland. I was like, I got to make a change, I got to move on something in life. Like, who am I? What am I going to do? And so I decided, let's move to Berlin, let's go give it a shot. I think Berlin is maybe the place I'm having to
Mm.
be now. I'm a bit of a broken person. And there's like a bit of a theory that if you start a startup, you must be somewhat of an unhinged person.
Yeah, yeah. A
Uh,
lot of working hours. Yeah.
so even there's a meme like therapy question mark. No, let's start a B2B SaaS with your bros.
Starting a B2B SaaS is a cry for help. It's just like, come on, please, I need to change the world.
Exactly. So yeah, I moved to Berlin. I was part like of a small program here in Berlin. And we kind of saw each other in this program, but didn't really work together. And then we worked together on some other solution. We tried to bring up a POS system.
Mm.
And like put the QR code on the table, you scan out and pay directly with Apple Pay and order at your table. And they have a system, the restaurants, which knows, aha, this table ordered this, I already paid, I bring it there. But
Mm.
I pitched almost to every restaurant in Berlin this idea, and nobody wanted it. We had the product. He was working on it for 3 months, and Uno is like an amazing guy, my co-founder, really smart, can ship any feature.
Nice.
But we broke up because it didn't work. Then he worked with some other team for some time. I worked a bit by myself
Mhm.
on some like AI sales tool. And later, I don't know, later in the year, he came to me, man, and said to me, bro, I really enjoyed working with you. I think you're a crazy hustler, cool dude. I like you. And look, let me pitch you my idea. And I was thinking to myself, bro, it doesn't really matter what idea you pitch me right now. I really enjoy you. I like to work with you. And
Ah.
doesn't matter the idea now. Let's just fucking work together. And we might pivot anyway, And it's like you start a startup, you pivot all the time around. For example, now with the workflows, it's kind of something new. We were before like an API, then went to enterprise AI, and now we go to workflows. You
Mm.
pivot always, and maybe we pivot again. Who knows? I mean, I have a very strong confidence with the workflows that is going to work out and go viral.
Mm.
But you never know in startup. But in startup, one of the main reasons why startups is breaking because founders break up. It's number one reason why startups fail. Not because they run out of money or something like that. No, because founders start to break up, and
Mhm.
it's like a marriage. You're married to each other. You have to talk out problems. Sometimes you have problems. Sometimes you have a fight, but you always talk it out. And you have to be respectful to each other's
Yeah.
and mature person. And yeah, so that's how we met. And I'm very grateful that we are working every day together. And I'm grateful from my heart that I know him and have him in my life.
That is, man, I'm glad you touched on that because a lot of people don't know that, part of startups the number one reason why they break up is because that uh founder it's hard to find founder fit, as they call it, or something
Yeah,
like that,
founder
right?
fit is really hard.
Yeah, very, very hard. I mean, it's so it's so, like qualitative in terms of like how that's measured, right? Not measured even, but it's just so what they call amorphous or something that it's very hard to like say, okay, this is what's required. It's almost like a feeling.
Hmm.
And you express that feeling, which I think is important for people to know because sometimes you may not know specifically what it is you have to look for in a person, but maybe it's just that again, that flow, that energy,
Hmm.
that synergy, as they call it, where
Hmm.
you like, you guys work together, you guys just like each other. I mean, that's another thing too, right? It's just
Hmm.
like, hey, I like you.
Yeah,
Like to work with somebody 12, 15 hours a day and I don't like you, that is difficult.
this is difficult. Yeah, you must like each other.
Nah, I mean, just the person calling you. Imagine somebody calling you your co-founder, and then you don't like them. You're kind of like, oh, I gotta pick up the phone. That ain't gonna last.
No, that's not going to work. It's horrible. Then you go depressed, you burn out also.
Yeah. So I mean, good that you guys are together in a way that you guys like each other first before the product. Which I mean that no matter how it pivots, then you guys can go far with it.
Exactly. I think so too.
Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, the one thing I like to ask, this is the last question I like to ask, and this
Hmm.
is things this is a question I like to ask anyone who's on the podcast, is
Hmm.
that you've been through a lot of different things in your life, right? In terms of you traveling, you've been to Oklahoma, you almost got shot, you almost got misidentified as an Iraqi Turkish dude. You've been in relationships where you traveled with a person, you broke up, but you found another person which you create not in that way, but but you also now have a startup here that is doing great things, Needle.app. And if you used to go back to your younger self, what would be the number one
Mm.
advice you would give to your younger self?
I think like I follow this philosophy. I follow two philosophies. One is learn to learn to learn,
Mm-hmm.
and I already learned this very early. And I have this taken from my mentor, which is actually Connor, the other guy who like helped me out when I was almost shot. I met him in Indonesia,
Wow.
at the hostel, and he was there, and I was 18 back then, and he became my mentor, and he helped me a lot to grow. And he always said to me,
Wow.
"Bro, number one thing is learn to learn because it's very important that you are able to learn because the better you're in learning, the better you become in um, growing, right?" And so
Mm-hmm.
I took his kind of phrase and I pivoted a bit to learn to learn to learn, which is a bit like a mindfuck also. So this is something I would like to tell myself also in the past, like my past myself. And another thing I would like to tell my past self is like just stay who you are, because I believe in this theory. If you're happy where you are right now, if you're happy with yourself, then even bad decisions you made in the past are good decisions because they led you to who you are and where you are right now. And so I would just say to myself, man, bro, don't worry. Stay how you are. You are doing okay. Don't worry too much. And you got this. I just would like give myself like a tap on the back and say, go. But I wouldn't necessarily want to tell this person like you should do something different.
Right.
Because I'm happy where I am right now. I'm happy who I am, and I would say just do it again like these you did it.
Nice. Check you out. Jan the philosopher over here.
Philosopher.
Jan the philosopher. All right, but bro, thank you very much for doing this, man.
Thank you, man.
Thank
it
you
was
very
really
much.
fun, actually.
I'm glad you and best of luck with the Needle.app. And guys, if you have not downloaded or have used the Needle.app yet, please do so. They have good plans available, as I've seen on the website. Very good, And also he does the blogging. He does blogging via Substack on the Needle.app, right?
Yeah, that's right.
He also got a YouTube channel. He got a personal one, and he got the one for the Needle.app as well, right?
I will start again a YouTube channel, my personal one, because the previous one I had with my ex-girlfriend, right? And we had 20,000 followers, but now we are down. So I will start another one by myself.
Yes.
Maybe I interview in my YouTube channel you.
Hey, yeah. I mean, I'm down for it, bro.
That sounds
Yeah,
great,
I'm down for it,
Let's do
man.
it.
Yeah, get him to 20,000 again on YouTube. All right, yes.
Get him to 20,000.
Yeah, please. I've been doing this podcast for a while. Please.
Deserves it more, actually.
Yeah. But guys, thank you for listening to and/or watching the Third Culture Talk podcast. I'm your boy, Jan Yenifin. This is Jan Heimes. All right,
Yeah,
Heimes?
that's right. You
Yes.
got it.
And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Peace.
Wow. There you go. Good stuff.
It was actually very fun, man.
Yeah.
I enjoy speaking in podcasts. It's such a great experience.
Bro, and you